Hello everyone, this is Sig Prem, legal intern at Lexis and Company. Currently pursuing BLLB honors from Central University of South Bihar. Today in this video, I am going to explain the various forms of Hindu marriage. So now start. As a part of Hindu Code Bill, the Hindu Marriage Act was enacted by Parliament in 1955 to amend and to codify marriage law between Hindus. And it came into force on 18th of May 1955. It gives a meaning to marriage, cohabiting rights for both the bride and groom. The concept of a Hindu marriage is to establish a relationship between the husband and wife. Based on the Hindu law, Hindu marriage is a sacred tie and the last 10 sacraments that can never break. Also, it is a relationship that is established by birth to birth and death to death. Hindu marriage harmonizes two individuals for ultimate eternity so that they can pursue dharma, earth, and karma. Marriage is one of the most important of all sanskars under the Griha Sutras. Among the Hindus, the marriage was considered as a sacrament. In Hinduism, the ultimate goal of Hindu life is to attain moksha. Marriage was meant for doing a good deed and attainment of moksha. Now, let us go with the forms of marriages. Various dharma texts of Hindu religion, such as Manusmriti and the Vedas, mention 8 different forms of marriages in the Hindu religion. The different forms of Hindu marriage have not been specified in central legislation called the Hindu Marriage Act 1956, which governs the Hindu marriages. However, these forms of marriages are still present and defined in the law as customs, which has been given a legal status under Section 3 Clause A of Hindu Marriage Act 1956. The normative text, dharma text, and the Grihasthriyas classify marriages into 8 different approved and unapproved forms. So now let us go with the approved forms. There are basically 4 approved forms. First one is Brahma, second one is Devya, third one is Arsa, and the fourth one is Prajapatya. So now let us explain one by one. In the Brahma, it is one of the most practiced form of marriage in India and has the most supreme position out of all the 8 forms of marriage. Manusmriti has also laid great importance on the form of marriage. The Brahma marriage in Dharma text has explained as the gift of a daughter after being decked with ornaments and honored with jewels to a man selected by her father himself, and who is learned in Vedas is called a Brahma marriage. The Brahma marriage are the rituals of the Brahmas who, accordingly to Manu Smriti, have the duty to accept gifts. Now the second one is Davya. Davya Vivah means marriage related to the right of the gods. In this form of marriage, unlike Brahma, the father gives away his daughter to the priest as a dakshina. Dakshina, which means sacrificial fee, for officiating in the sacrifice conducted by the father of the bride. In this form of marriage, the groom doesn't come looking for a bride. The parents of the bride go looking for the groom for her daughter. This form of marriage is considered inferior to the Brahma marriage because in Devya, the father derives a benefit by using her daughter as a sacrifice, and also because it is considered degrading for women to go looking for a groom. According to Manu, the son of a wife married according to the Devya rite, liberties of 7 of their ancestors and descendants are given. Now the third one is Arsa. The third form of approved marriage, that is arsa marriage, suggests marriage with rishi or sages. This is different from Brahma and Devya forms of marriage because in arsa, the father of the bride doesn't have to give anything to the bridegroom. In the arsa, the father of the bridegroom is one who gives two cows or bulls to the father of the bride. Marriages of this type happen because parents of the girl could not afford the expenses of the daughter's marriage at the right time according to the Brahman's right. So, it is presumed that the girl is married off to an old rishi or sage in exchange of two cows. Sir Guru Das Banerjee, also known as Guru Das Banerjee, a Bengali Indian judge, believed that this form of marriage indicated the personal state of Hindu society, where the cattle was considered as the monetary consideration for the marriage. However, this form of the marriage was not considered noble as the marriage was treated as a business transaction where the bride was exchanged for cows or bulls. Now the fourth one, which is Prajapatya. Prajapatya form of marriage is similar to Brahma form of marriage, except there is no trading in Kanyadan and Prajapatya, and the father of the bride searches for the groom. Because of these differences, Prajapatya is inferior to Brahma. In this form of marriage, the father, while giving her daughter away, addresses the couple with the condition that both the bride and the bridegroom may perform their dharma together. The basic condition requested by the father of the bride is that the bridegroom must treat the bride as a partner and fulfill their religious and secular duties together. According to Manu, the son of a wife married according to the Prajapatya rite liberates six ancestors and descendants. Now, coming to the unapproved forms of marriage, there are also four marriages which are unapproved, like Asura, Gandharva, Rakshasa, and Pisacha. Now, the first one is Asura. This is one of the most condemned form of marriage. In this form, the father gives away her daughter after the bridegroom has provided all the wealth that he can. To the father of the bride and the bride herself, the Ramayana mentions that the extravagant amount of price was given to the guardian of Kaikeyi for her marriage with King Dasratha. This is basically a commercial transaction where the bride is purchased. According to Manusmriti, the father of the girl should not accept the offer even for the least amount of price. The test for determining whether the marriage is Asura or not was laid down in the Kailasnatha Mudayar versus Prakasiti Vaidmini case. This case was of 1931, where if the bridegroom gives money or anything that has money's worth, like wheat, cows, and others, to the bride's father for his benefit or as a consideration for him to give her daughter in marriage is called Asura marriage. Now the second one is Gandharva. In this form, the marriage different. This is a unique form of marriage and is different from other forms of marriage. There is a mutual agreement between the girl and the boy to get married. The mutual agreement arises from the pure lust. The approval of parents does not play a role. The concept of mutual consent for marriages was prevalent in the old Hindu system. However, solemnization of marriage coming out of mutual consent was very low. This was because it led to the Hindus' culture shifting to child marriage. Possibility of intercaste relations become high, and this form of marriage was not in accordance with Hindu cultures and practices as there was no parental consent. The Supreme Court, in the case of Bhairav Shankar Lokhande, versus the state of Maharashtra 1965 discussed essential ceremonies required for performing Gandharva marriage. In this form, there is a custom that father of a female should touch the forehead of the female and the male to each other, and the Gandharva is completed by the act. Along with this custom, another custom which required the presence of a Brahmin priest and a barber was pleaded not to be essential for Gandharva marriage. Now the third one is Rakshasa. The Rakshasa form of marriage is performed by abducting the bride and brutally slaying her family and relatives. In some texts, another condition that needs to take place in the bridegroom shall fight with the family of the bride. While following the ceremonial steps in a tranquil, tranquil wedding. However, this condition is not essential for having a Rakshasa marriage. This form of marriage was practiced by Kshatriyas or military classes. Rakshasa marriage resembles a right of a victor over the person held captive in the war. Now the last form of marriage, that is Pisacha. This is placed at the last form of marriage because this is the most atrocious form of marriage out of the eight of marriage. In this, a man seduces woman and enters in a sexual act when the girl is either sleeping, intoxicated, or mentally disordered, mostly in the night. The girl and her parents, out of shame of such activity, have to agree the marriage with the man. Pisacha means goblins, who are supposed to act secretly at night. It resembles as an act of rape, which in the modern era is the most abdominal, abominable act which could ever commit and is punishable under section 376 of the IPC. Whoever commits rape shall be punished with imprisonment of not less than 7 years and may extend to lifetime along with fine. That's all from my side. Please do like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for further videos and updates. Thank you.